Lo and behold, Suzuki Baleno, more specifically the 2024 1.5 GA, which is effectively a 5-speed manual. So I've just taken collection of this car. I'll be taking it on a road trip, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to go back to that statement that I had made in one of my earlier videos where I said this is actually a great alternative to the norm, being your Europeans, namely your VW Polo and the likes. So I'll be taking it on a rather lengthy road trip. I think return will be about 1,000 km or so. We're looking at comfort, road handling, and efficiency. So stay tuned to find out how the Baleno holds. Okay, so in the interior, the steering wheel there, you get the dials to control your infotainment, the volume, cell phones, voice control. And next to that, you get the cruise control. And then just to your right there, you can see there's the PDC button, switch on and off. That's for the rear PDC. And then, as I said, it's a 5-speed manual. You also get a screen there. It's quite laggy, but it's functional. I think that's the important thing we need to remember with this car. It's meant to be functional. And then obviously the aircon there. You also get a USB slot there and a 12-volt socket there. And then when you go to the back, you get 2 more USB ports. The one on the right is the Type-C, and then the one on the left, it's the normal USB port. So yeah, you have what you need to be able to actually carry your passengers comfortably. They can charge their devices as and when required. So yeah, we'll find out more about how the car handles on the road, the efficiency, economy, and a whole lot more.
Got up bright and early, hit the road, and boom, there was a tortoise in the middle of the road. But fortunately, composure was the name of the day, and we safely managed to avoid it. And there I was attempting to do some impromptu off-roading. Look, it was a calculated risk, and there I was moving 40 kilometers to the N1, and boom, there, the promised land. I was getting closer to the promised land. I hit the first stretch of tarred road, quite narrow, I must say. It's only wide enough for one car going in either direction. Fortunately, there was no cars coming in the opposite direction, so I managed to cruise to the N1.
After traveling 1,275 kilometers in a 2025 Suzuki Baleno 1.5 GL, I can safely say this car is indeed an alternative to the norm. What you get with it is a 4-year, 60,000 kilometer service plan, a 5-year, 200,000 kilometer mechanical warranty. And what I found with the car is it's all about functionality. It's all about giving you everything that you need. If you forget about all these niceties that you often get in modern day hatchbacks, you'll actually come to realize that this car actually addresses all the needs and requirements of a modern day driver. So on this trip, I used a total of about 1,670 rands on fuel, which works out to 1 rand 32 cents per kilometer, which is incredible. The car is claimed to give fuel efficiency of 5.4 liters per 100 kilometers, but I was able to get about 6.2, which is still great if you were to ask me. And I must point out that there was a bit of town driving. There was quite a number of stop and goes on the way, so that would explain why my consumption was not as great as what was claimed. But even then, I still believe 6.1, 6.2 is still quite a great number. Then moving on to cost. How much will it cost to run a car like this? Well, it's priced at 260, starting from 260 for the GL. For the GLX, which is the more top of the range one, you expect to pay slightly more. I'll just put the updated pricing update there. Then what you get in terms of features is cruise control, although it's not the most intuitive, yet it remains functional. Apple CarPlay, I believe Android Auto as well. I was mainly using the Apple CarPlay, so I can really comment more on it, about the fact that you can use a cable and you can also connect wirelessly. You also get a reverse camera with the rear PDC. You get 4 cup holders on each door, plus 2 additional cup holders for the smaller bottles. On the ones on the doors, you can probably get away with putting in a 1 liter bottle, at best 750, give or take. But once you go beyond that, it's really becoming a tight squeeze. The 2 additional ones next to the gear lever, you can probably get away with a half a liter bottle in there, although there's a bit of play. Then another thing which I really found somewhat useful, so on the driver's side, just next to the PDC button, there's a small storage area there. The only thing I could actually manage to fit in there was my small Nokia, the Spotty Woody. And so if you have a Spotty Woody, Suzuki has you covered. You'll be able to put it there. Then the armrest, you can also have small storage in there. Really, the only thing I was able to put in there was my wallet. If you have a purse, unfortunately, it will not fit in there. And coming back to the armrest, it's one key thing that you never realize that you need until you actually need it, especially when you're driving longer distances. It just helps for you to relax. And when you arrive to where you're going, you're not tired. I mean, look at me. My body is not aching. And I mean, I drove 1,275 to and fro. And I feel the car, it handled it quite well. I didn't ask too much of it because I could see early on that the driving dynamics aren't really what you typically get in its competitors, more on the Polos and those other ones. But I digress. Coming back to the features and some of the things that I probably didn't like as much. You get 2 USB ports at the back, one Type-C and the normal one, and then the one in the front for your Apple CarPlay, as well as for charging and whatever else you need it for. Then the things I didn't like. Perhaps I'm being a bit pedantic, but the sound system was not particularly great. It's certainly not, a Dyna Audio, let alone Harman Kardon or Bose or anything that you you would really associate with incredible car audio systems, but that comes at a price. If you're looking for functionality, this is the car you get. If you want a slightly better sound system, you can always get it upgraded. I think that's one of the first things you may want to get sorted. The next thing for me, which I found to be problematic, maybe I just hadn't found my way around it, but I think spent a lot of time trying to get through the menu, trying to basically, see how best one can set the car up for what they need and what they want. I couldn't quite get to the auto lock feature. This is where when you're driving beyond a certain speed, the car automatically locks all the doors. And the other thing is for you to configure how you want the car to lock and unlock. So typically you have the option to select that when you unlock the car, it first unlocks the driver's door, and then on the second leg it unlocks all the other doors. I couldn't be able to get it to do that. Maybe I just haven't spent enough time with the car, but I really tried, but I couldn't quite get to that. And if that is the case, for me it's quite a concern, because you know what these guys are usually getting up to. The parking lots at the malls with this remote jamming, and these guys, they're always up to funny things. So that's actually a nice feature to have, so that you can at least have a great sense of security. You'll correct me if maybe there's someone who's figured out how to actually get that thing to work, then I think we're all good. But with that being said, I think the Suzuki Baleno is certainly one car to consider, especially if you're looking for a car to run errands with. I believe it will not only be easy and affordable to run, but I also believe it will be easy and affordable to maintain. I had a look at the front. This is the engine compartment. I could see how things are laid out in a very simple manner. There's sufficient space to work. Your mechanic will certainly be happy working on this car, for the fact that their job will not be as difficult, but I doubt they'll be happy because the labor will not be as much. But at the end of the day, it's a win-win, I suppose. Then another key aspect that I forgot to mention with regards to the cost is the tires, wear and tear. So this car runs on 185/65 15-inch tires. I checked the specific ones which are on this car, the Apollos. They are running, going for about 1,200. I've seen you can also get Sumitomos for around 1,000, just less than 1,000. But if you're really looking for something a bit more premium, then you can get Continentals at about 1,600, which is quite reasonable, which just goes to show that, look, if you're looking for affordability, reliability, this is definitely the car that you need to go for. And I thank you.